If you've ever felt like a stranger in your own life, working a job that drains your soul while playing a role that isn't really you, then you've already encountered the profound psychology of the Generation X experience. They call you the latchkey generation, the ones who grew up with an independence that looked like freedom but felt like isolation. Forcing you to build a thick, impenetrable persona just to survive, you were told to suck it up and get it done. But now, as the years pass, that ironclad mask is starting to crack, revealing a hidden shadow filled with the emotions you were never allowed to express. The truth is, many of you are living a lie, successfully checking all the boxes of adulthood while feeling an internal void that no promotion or vacation can fill. You've mastered the art of projection, seeing the softness of younger generations as a threat because it mirrors the vulnerability you had to bury decades ago. It's a counterintuitive reality. Your greatest strength, your resilience, has become your biggest prison, keeping you from the true personal growth that only comes when you stop doing and start being. But what if I told you that this midlife tension isn't a crisis, but a call to arms for your own individuation? The quick reward you've been chasing isn't found in a higher salary, but in the radical act of self-awareness, the moment you decide to stop being who the world told you to be and start becoming who you actually are. Within you lies the self, a wise captain who has been waiting through the decades of silence to guide you toward a life of genuine meaning. Today, we are going to dismantle the costumes of your daily life and dive deep into the collective unconscious of a generation that was taught to be invisible. We are looking for the golden shadow, that untapped potential you traded for security and routine. By the end of this journey, you won't just understand your past, you will have a blueprint for a future that finally belongs to you. You've probably noticed how everyone seems to be playing a part these days. Haven't you? It's like we've all become actors in a high-stakes play, wearing a professional persona that acts as a polished shield against the world. This mask isn't just a costume, it's a sophisticated psychological tool we use to navigate psychology in our daily life. We show up to the office with a firm handshake and a controlled smile, ensuring our personal growth appears steady to our peers. But have you ever felt like that mask is starting to grip your face just a little too tightly? It is quite easy to get lost in the performance, especially when society rewards the actor more than the human being. A person might spend 40 hours a week being the perfect manager or the reliable assistant, but the trouble starts when they walk through their front door and forget to hang the costume in the closet. If you find yourself barking orders at your spouse or treating your children like subordinates, you've let the mask win. Real self-awareness begins when you realize that your true worth isn't tied to the title on your business card or the LinkedIn profile you've spent years grooming. Think of it like this. If you wear a heavy winter coat inside a warm house, you're going to eventually overheat and become miserable. In the same way, keeping that professional rigidity active during a family dinner is a recipe for emotional burnout and disconnected relationships. To stay grounded, try a simple ritual. When you turn off your computer or step out of the office, take a deep breath and physically wipe your face with your hands. Tell yourself, the worker is resting now, the human is coming home. This small act of individuation ensures you don't become a hollow shell of corporate expectations. You see, my friend, the most dangerous lie we tell is the one we believe about ourselves. When we are trying to impress others, when the persona becomes the skin, we lose touch with the deeper parts of our own psychology and the authentic joy of being known for who we actually are. It takes a certain kind of bravery to step out from behind the curtain and let the people who matter most see the unfiltered version of your soul. Yet, even when we take the mask off, there are still parts of us hiding in the dark, waiting to be noticed in the corners of our minds. Behind every civilized person lies a hidden trail of unacknowledged emotions that we've been taught to ignore since childhood. We often tuck away our anger, our envy, and our deepest fears into a psychological suitcase known as the shadow, hoping they'll simply vanish if we don't look at them. This isn't just about bad traits. It's any part of your psychology that didn't fit the image your parents or teachers wanted you to project. But here's the thing. Whatever you bury alive stays alive, and it usually grows stronger in the dark while you aren't paying attention. In your daily life, this heavy bag of feelings doesn't just sit still. It leaks out at the most inconvenient moments imaginable. Have you ever snapped at your partner over a tiny dish in the sink, only to realize later that your reaction was way out of proportion? That's your hidden side demanding to be heard, turning a small spark into a forest fire because it's been ignored for too long. Personal growth is essentially impossible if you're constantly running away from your own reflection, pretending that your invisible bag doesn't exist while it trips you up every single day. To handle this, one must become a bit of an inner detective, someone who is willing to look at their darker impulses without immediately flinching or feeling ashamed. If you feel a sudden surge of irrational jealousy toward a friend's success, don't shove it down. Instead, sit with it and ask, what part of me feels unfulfilled? This is a practical step towards self-awareness that turns a scary monster into a useful teacher. You might even find it helpful to keep a shadow journal where you write down the things that triggered you during the day, uncovering the patterns that keep you stuck. When we finally stop fighting ourselves and start integrating these hidden pieces, we move closer to the ultimate goal of individuation. It's about realizing that you don't need to be perfect, you just need to be whole, which includes acknowledging the messier parts of being human. By giving those scary feelings a seat at the table, they lose their power to sabotage your happiness and your relationships. Of course, once we stop fighting our own internal battles, we might start noticing how much we've been blaming other people for the very things we refuse to see in ourselves. Have you ever met someone who absolutely rubbed you the wrong way for no logical reason at all? It is a fascinating quirk of psychology that the traits we find most irritating in others are often the very pieces of ourselves we've suppressed. This phenomenon, known as projection, acts like a high-definition movie playing on the screen of our social interactions. We point the finger at a colleague's arrogance or a friend's laziness to avoid looking at those same tendencies within our own daily life. It's much easier to judge the world than it is to judge the man in the mirror in the realm of personal growth. Your relationships are actually the most profound classroom you will ever enter. When you feel a sudden, intense flash of judgment towards someone, you've likely stumbled upon a hidden treasure chest of your own shadow. For instance, if you constantly criticize a neighbor for being too loud or attention-seeking, ask yourself if you've been denying your own need to be seen and heard. By using these moments as a magic mirror, you shift from being a victim of your surroundings to a master of your own self-awareness. To apply this practically, try the mirror audit next time you're stuck in traffic or scrolling through social media. When a stranger triggers a strong negative reaction in you, pause and ask, where in my life do I act exactly like that, even in a small way? If you find yourself judging someone for being cheap, look at where you might be stingy with your own time or affection. This isn't about guilt, it's about individuation, reclaiming the energy you've scattered onto others and bringing it back home to your own self. As you begin to see the world through this lens, your anger naturally softens into a deep, quiet compassion for the human struggle. You realize that everyone is simply projecting their own internal dramas onto one another, creating a web of misunderstandings that clouds our true psychology. By withdrawing these projections, you stop being a puppet to your triggers and start seeing people for who they truly are, rather than who you need them to be. This clarity is the essential fuel you need to stop acting like a shrub and start growing into your own magnificent, unique tree. Nature has a very specific plan for you, one that doesn't involve copying your neighbor's blueprint or following a generic social script. Think of your life like a seed. An oak tree doesn't wake up and decide to be a willow. It simply follows its internal drive to become its truest version. This is the essence of individuation, a lifelong process where you stop being a collection of other people's opinions and start becoming your authentic self. In your daily life, this often feels like a second birth, usually arriving after you've spent decades trying to please everyone else. Once you cross the threshold of midlife, the rules of the game change entirely, moving away from external success and toward internal personal growth. You might find that the career titles or material gains that once thrilled you now feel a bit hollow. Like a suit that no longer fits, this isn't a crisis. It is your psychology shifting gears, demanding that you finally pay attention to your own unique, true seed. It is the moment you stop asking, "What does the world want from me?" and start asking, "What does my soul require to feel whole?" in practical terms. This might mean finally picking up that hobby you abandoned at 20 or changing your career path to align with your deeper values. For example, if you've spent years in finance but feel a pull toward woodworking or teaching, that is your internal individuation process knocking on the door. You can start small by dedicating just 30 minutes a day to an activity that makes you lose track of time. This is often a sign of your true nature speaking. Don't worry about being productive in the eyes of society. Focus on being authentic to your own self-awareness as you shed the layers of who you were told to be. You'll notice a strange and beautiful thing. You become more solid, more grounded, and far less easily shaken by the storms of life. You are no longer a leaf blown by the wind of public opinion, but a sturdy tree with deep roots in your own psychology. This journey isn't always easy, and it often requires walking through some lonely forests of the shadow to find your light. Yet, as you grow taller and stronger, you begin to hear a quiet, steady voice within that has been waiting to take the lead. Within the complex architecture of your mind, there is a central point of gravity that remains unshaken by the shifting winds of your emotions. We often get distracted by the noisy parts of our psychology, the voice that is constantly hungry for approval, the one that is terrified of failure, or the one that is perpetually exhausted. But deeper than these fleeting impulses lies the self, the ultimate authority and the wise captain of your internal ship. While your persona deals with the world, this inner core focuses on the harmony of your entire being. In your daily life, finding this center is the difference between reacting like a frantic passenger and leading like a calm commander when a crisis hits, be it a sudden layoff or a family dispute. Most people let their panicked voices take the wheel, leading to choices they later regret. Personal growth happens in those split seconds when you choose to pause. Breathe and consult the quiet wisdom at your center. It is about realizing that while you have many different feelings, you are not those feelings. You are the one who observes them and decides how to act. A powerful way to connect with this captain is through a daily practice of silence, away from the digital noise of the modern world. Try spending 10 minutes every morning without your phone, simply observing your thoughts as if they were clouds passing over a steady mountain. This builds the self-awareness needed to distinguish between a temporary impulse and a deep soul-level truth. If you find yourself at a crossroads, ask yourself, which path makes me feel more whole rather than just more comfortable? This is how you allow your true psychology to guide your life as you lean into the guidance of the self, the scattered pieces of your life, your shadow, your dreams, and your daily struggles begin to align into a coherent masterpiece. You move through the world with a sense of purpose that doesn't depend on external validation or the masks you wear for society. The journey of individuation finally reaches its peak when you realize that the wisdom you've been seeking in books or mentors has been residing within you all along. This internal alignment creates a profound sense of peace that few ever find, turning the chaos of existence into a deliberate and beautiful dance. Now that we have peeled back the layers of the persona and stared directly into the depths of the shadow, the real question is, what are you going to do with this newfound self-awareness? You have the tools to stop being a spectator in your own life and start the profound work of individuation. Will you continue to let your daily life be dictated by the ghosts of your past? Or will you finally allow the self to take the helm and steer you toward your true north? The path to personal growth is rarely comfortable, but it is the only one that leads to a soul that is truly awake and alive. I want you to take a hard look at the mirror tonight and ask yourself, who is looking back at me? The mask I built for the world, or the human being I've forgotten how to be? Are you brave enough to reclaim the parts of your psychology that you've projected onto everyone else? Or is it easier to keep living in a house of mirrors? These aren't just philosophical musings. They are a direct challenge to your ego to step aside so your spirit can finally breathe. If you feel that familiar stirring of discomfort in your chest, good. That is your internal captain telling you it's time to change. Don't let this be just another video you watch and forget before the next one starts playing. If you are serious about this journey, start by acknowledging one hidden truth about yourself today. Something from your invisible bag that you've been too afraid to name. Write it down, look at it, and realize that it no longer has to be a secret that controls you. True power in psychology comes from integration, not suppression. It comes from being whole, not from being perfect. If this exploration of Carl Jung and the Gen X spirit has resonated with you, I invite you to join our circle of seekers, subscribe to the channel, and activate notifications so you don't miss our next deep dive into the mysteries of the unconscious. Leave a comment below, telling me which of these 4 concepts hit you the hardest today. Let's continue this conversation and move together toward a life of radical authenticity.